Welcome to the Arrancar full res tier list, and in this video we're going to go through every single mythic, legendary, rare, and common. If you haven't already, check out my playlists or tier list playlist in the description below. It has all the updated Soul Reaper and Quincy ones, and there should be an updated Arrancar partial one. I'm currently exporting right now, and I just decided to record the full res one while I wait. But let's go into our first mythic. Now Snake has a pretty decent full res. I honestly don't think it's too good. Like, you do a lot of damage, or a fair bit of damage, but you have to do a lot more effort to do the damage that somebody in like light full res or Segunda would have to do. Like, you have your overdrive, you got your M2 ones that you have to hit, or else you're not going to do the maximum damage that you could be doing, which I think is kind of annoying. But you can macro some of the moves. I don't know if it's allowed. Apparently it is. Still think it's a lot more effort that you would have to put than a normal one. The Z one's pretty good damage. You can spam it pretty often. It has pretty low CD. X move, you got to hit a lot of timings on this to make it work fully and do the most damage. But yeah, there's 3 M1 M2s. Then also if you're in overdrive, I think it automatically does it. I might be wrong. Pump to M2 on overdrive. Okay, so it's only in overdrive you actually get the timing, so sorry about that. And also there's a overdrive variant, but you need to hit like 1 or 2 people, I think, for it to do it, and then you just M2 once you hit them. Alright, in Segunda, again, like full res, it does a fair bit of damage, but you have to hit your timings to make it do the most damage. Luckily in Segunda, overdrive does end up doing the timings automatically for, I think, the G move. The T move has no timings, your crits get empowered, you always have Crazy Blitz empowered. So it does pretty good damage, but again, you do have to hit your M2s. But it's really nice that, I think the G move steals the bar. You get more Segunda bar if you hit it, which is kind of crazy. So you could be in Segunda for a long time. You can't boss rate this, but again, like I said, I don't think this is the best res or Segunda you could be using, because it takes like a lot more effort to be amazing with it. And I haven't really had much difficulty against Snake. There's not really too many stupid combos I could do, but you guys in the comments will probably correct me if I'm wrong. Alright, on to our next one. Light is undoubtedly the best full res and Segunda in the game. A lot of their moves are like really stupid. You got Blood M1s, your crit is insane, it auto guard breaks. It's basically true after if you hit your C move here, you can just, or the non-nuke version where you throw them into the floor. You do your crit and then you can go into X and then into Z. Do Z into X. It's just insane. There's so much stun on this, does so much damage. And again, unlike Snake, you get your damage for free. You don't have to put a lot of thinking into this. It's really 1, 2, 3, 4 combos. And then once you get to Segunda, it's even better, because your crit is like a full 360. They got auto tracking things, so you can move stack with that. You can hit the crit, and then while those things are flying to them, you hit them with the Z move, it stuns them, and then the crit hits them, it stuns them even more. Your M1s get a little bigger, I think. And then you get a second nuke, which is insane, because this one does, I think, a bar and a half. This one also does a bar and a half, but once you get Segunda, you get a second nuke, so land that, you hit a bunch of people, especially in Clan Wars, it's crazy. T move, big AoE, G move. This one's like a big Mortal Ties, basically, so if you land that, they're kind of screwed, because no one's really going to go toe-to-toe with Snake, Light, full res, or Segunda. So, yeah, S tier for Light. Again, Snake can be S tier, depending on how well you are at hitting the timings. If you macro it, sure, you can make it S tier, probably. But I think it's a more flashy full res in Segunda than it does damage, because it does like even if you land all the timings on some of the moves, it doesn't do as much as like Light if you just hit one move. So yeah. Alright, Vampire. Vampire has a really good full res actually in my opinion, because let's scroll down. Your payday gets bigger, your phage gets you lose hyper armor, you heal a lot more, your echoes the same, but it really shines once you get into Segunda, because you have crazy crits. You can spam your crit, it has very low CD. And then it also allows you to get this pretty amazing move, the Feather Drop. It's decent damage. Hits multiple people. This G move is also like your equivalent of a light C nuke. Does decent damage. I think it's a one-time use, and then it turns into another move afterwards. Or you just can't use it, I forget. But yeah, probably A tier as well. Really good boss rate one. Does surprising damage. You heal a lot of stun with your crits, because it's a big scream. So yeah, and you also heal a lot with it. Alright, Stark. Stark has a really good full res as well. Like Light, this one's pretty annoying to fight, especially if they know how to space correctly with their M1s on their guns, because these are really long, and then you can spam it basically, your crit's amazing. And then all you have to really do to get back your gun mode is hit your core zone. So if they just guard break you, and then they hit the core zone, they're basically in gun mode forever. It's not really a downside to have the sword variant. Just never be in the sword variant, and you'll do fine in the full res. And then once you get Segunda, you can do insane combos. This T move has hyper armor, does decent damage, full stuns them for that, and then the G move is like light C, but it has like insane hitbox. Like they could be all the way over here and you'd still end up kicking them. So yeah, and also you're permanently in gun mode for Segunda, so you don't have to worry about hitting your X move anymore. But you do get 2 nukes in this as well with your C move, the Cerro Matriella, this one. You get it twice, once in full res and once in Segunda. So yeah, pretty good for boss rating. Probably gonna put it S tier. Just because of that alone, because Stark is really annoying. But honestly, most people will just run out of your range for the Matriella. But in Clan Wars, when you're not really paying attention, like, you just get hit by this and you're like, wow, I can't really do much about that. And then there's like some infinite combos you can do as well with the dogs, because there's like 3 of them. You can't perfect parry all of them, so they'll end up getting stunned anyways. You can just M1 spam, and you win. Volcanica. Now, Volcanica is a alright full res. A lot of your moves get bigger. A lot of you get more hyper armor, whatnot. But I don't think it's that, you can't really compare this to like a light or like a snake if they're really good. This one's pretty decent overall. They do a lot of damage, I guess. But not too good. Segunda, it has a lot of flashy moves like this one. I've never really had any problem with Volcano. This thing doesn't even end up hitting me ever. Like, it's such bad, I don't know. Yeah, like, look at that. It lands like once every forever. And you'll get hit by it like at most once or twice, but most of the time you just won't even get hit by it once, so. Probably gonna put it B tier for that reason, because a lot of these moves, they do decent damage, but I don't know. Segunda's pretty disappointing in my opinion. Alright, Arrogante. Arrogante has a really good res. Not a lot of people know it, but you have like crazy stun with this. If you're playing Hackett especially, you can throw out like, which move is it? But basically any of these moves, you have like an aura that slows down their flash step and slows them, so yeah. And then once you get into Segunda, you got crazy hyper on your crit. And then this move does decent damage. X move as well. It's a bigger debuff as well than this move. It's like a bigger version of that. Then once you get into Segunda, you get really fun moves like this crit. I think this crit's a little worse than the other one, but it does a lot more damage. This T move as well, pretty decent. G move as well. And then all your other moves just get like almost twice as good. Like, this is insane. There's so much stun. If you're playing against a really good Hakuto player with this, you won't be able to move, and they'll just be right on top of you the whole time. And they can spam these moves because they have like almost no CD in my opinion, or a lot lower than you'd expect. Probably gonna put that A tier. Alright, Pantera. This one has, even though it's a rare, do not disrespect the full res or the Segunda. Because I think with the full res, yeah, it takes a little while to get your bar, because I think some of these moves don't do as much damage. The C move is still pretty good. X move is a little, I don't know if it has the same true stun as the base variant. I actually think it loses some with the true stun, but it does more damage. Z move's pretty good, has decent stun. If you land this, you can basically go into your X, and then once you land your X, you can go into the C immediately. And your crit, like all like full res, it's just a scream, AoE, guard break, whatever. But it really shines in its Segunda. Honestly, this one could even be better than Light, in my opinion, because you can do a basically 0 to death combo with this one, especially because the T move, it basically is a 2-bar punch, and it has like no CD, so yeah. The basic combo for full res, or Segunda here, once you get into it, it's just X onto them, it's an instant TP, into crit, into Z, and then once you land the Z move, they're stunned for a while, you do the T move, it's gonna do like 2 bars, and then you can, after that T move, you can do another X, it should be off cooldown, you go into another crit, and then you go into Z into C. And that's basically a 4-bar combo, if not a full kill, depends how much HP they have, but it's a true combo. It's like genuinely insane how fast the TP is, and then all these moves are really low CD. The T move is on like a 20-second CD for a 2-bar move, really, that's insane. So honestly, I'm gonna put it S tier as well, maybe even above Stark. Stark honestly might be A tier, I don't know. I might move Stark back down, but we'll leave it at S for now. Alright, onto Shark. Now Shark is pretty okay. The full res is nothing too special. Your moves get slightly bigger, they do a little more posture damage. Your crit is... Honestly, I think the crit is a downgrade compared to like whatever weapon you have. It's alright, I think it has hyper armor as well, so I guess it's decent. But it's not as good as like other full res crits where they're like a scream. This one's a little underwhelming because you can only mostly hit just one person if you're lucky. And yeah, once you get into Segunda though, it's pretty decent. This move does a fair bit of damage, but yeah, this one's full iframe as well. You hit one person with it, I think it does like a bar or more. And then your crit, again, pretty underwhelming, but yeah. I'm gonna put it at least above Volcanica, because this one is still pretty good, I guess. But not on par with any of the S or A tiers, because these ones can really boss rate with no effort at all. Shark, you will have to use your brain a little more with Volcanica as well, if you want to do the same, to the same effect. Alright, Devil. Devil full res, honestly, is very disappointing. Like, these moves get empowered, but they're still not, you're not going to be boss running with this. You're not going to see anyone go crazy with this in Clan Wars, because a lot of these moves don't really combo into each other. They don't even do that much damage as well. And then it doesn't even have Segunda, so honestly C tier. Devil on the partial and the full res, and the full res is C tier. It's really bad. Honestly, if you have a Shikai reroll, get off Devil. Spirit. Now Spirit has pretty decent damage. I think one of these slams him into the ground. I don't know if it was this one, but it has a lot of true stun. And then your moves get a little better. Honestly, nothing too special. It's like Devil though, because none of these do really too much. They do decent damage, but they're not like boss raid ones where you're going to be killing multiple people. Whoops. C tier. Alright, Phoenix. Now, Phoenix got buffed. You actually have turrets. I thought that was a joke when they said you get a turret in full res and in Segunda. But you do get one. It does pretty decent damage. It burns them. So surprisingly really good on medic as well, because once they get full res, they have so much true stun with all this. A bunch of hyper armor, a lot of stuff, and then a lot of your moves are increased lifesteal as well. But unfortunately, none of your moves really change. Once you get to Segunda, you get a pretty cool move here. The grab move is half decent. It's kind of hard to land in my opinion. G move's alright damage. It's like a slightly better version of your C move where you jump into the air, but this time you burn them as well. And then one time, you can siphon 8% of HP. So in Clan Wars, you can heal like basically almost half your HP if you hit a bunch of people. I don't know if this one, I hope this one doesn't friendly fire. Yeah, it doesn't actually. But yeah, pretty decent heals. Probably gonna put a B tier though, because it's pretty situational. Nothing too special. Actually, wait. Because you get 3 turrets in Segunda, I might put it a little higher. Because it has really surprising damage with these turrets. And the hyper armor is pretty crazy. I might move it up to A tier, but we'll see. Acid. Acid is one of the best boss raid ones. Your Z move is insane. Your acid moves are basically a lot bigger. Your C move lasts a lot longer, so you can be in iframes for a really long time. So if there's like any time you're getting comboed, you can just do that. And if they don't know you absorb damage in this and then release it all in that ball of acid, you'll do crazy damage if you do end up hitting that ball. The X move is pretty decent. You jump up into the air, do whatnot. Your Z and X move are pretty good. I think these balls don't auto track, but once you get into Segunda, it really shines, because a lot of these moves, they slow you, do decent damage, but then once in Segunda, it's like 10x better. This move drops a bunch of balls. I don't know if they nerfed it yet, where they made it so you only get hit by a few of them and then the rest just ragdoll. Because like if you land all of these on one person, it's gonna really do like almost 2 bars of damage. It's kind of insane, and they're stunned for so long. Then you can do that move into all these other moves. The X move, these ones also auto track now, so this is crazy for Clan Wars. C move as well, or C move as well. It's just basically the same thing as the full res, but I think it becomes slightly faster, and it also ends up pushing them with it. And then the T move, if you do land it, it explodes any poison damage you have on them. So if you hit any of your moves, you can just do this, and then it'll explode them and ragdoll them. And then the G move is, which one's the G move? Oh yeah, this one's alright. It just flings them, I guess. It's a pretty decent hyper armor move, so yeah, pretty good. Honestly, I might put it S tier. It does so much damage. Like, it's genuinely insane how much damage it does, especially because of all the auto tracking moves. I don't know. I'm gonna put it S tier. I really like Acid. Alright, Bone. Bone has a decent full res. Unfortunately, it's not as good as the other ones. It has a lot of stun with the Z move and the encasing being a lot bigger, but it doesn't do as much damage as other full reses. I'm probably gonna put this either B tier or like low A tier. Once you get into Segunda, it becomes half alright, I guess. But yeah, nothing too special with this one. You're not gonna be boss raiding as easily as the other ones. I'm gonna put it B tier, above Volcanica at least, because Volcanica is honestly useless in my opinion. Alright, Slash. Slash has a really good mode. If you watch my recent Clan Wars video, I dropped 7k damage with this. It's really stupid. They recently buffed some of the full res moves. Like I think the Z move got buffed, and then the X move now has further range and also does the Segunda variant where you slam them into the ground and then also hit people around them. If they have a picture of the X move here. They don't, unfortunately. But it'll slam them into the ground with more force. Does more damage. It has like a big AoE effect where it like breaks the ground around them and it also ragdolls other people around them. So yeah, C move does slightly more damage in full res, I believe, or it just comes out faster, I don't know. But once you get into Segunda, you can do some pretty crazy combos. The T move does like a bar, maybe a little, it might do a bar and a half, but it's really easy to hit, is how big it is. And then your crit in Segunda is a lot bigger than your full res, like Scream where it guard breaks. This one's kind of insane. And then your T move, it's got 2 variants, M1, M2. You can do the G move into the M1, so because while they're ragdolled in the G move, you can throw an M1 at them from the T. And then the M2 is pretty decent. If you do hit both of these though, your Byakko will become like a teleport one. Honestly, I think this variant's not worth doing because you can't really combo extend off it because it goes so far. But the G move also has a hidden tech. If you didn't know, if you do the G move and then you dash forward with it and then crit, it'll pull those people back in who are thrown by the G move back towards you, so then you can go hit a free Z move or a C move on them. I did it a couple times in the Clan War video if you want an example of that. Should be one of my recent ones. But yeah, pretty insane what this one does. And also this slash tempo's like, I think almost frame 1 hyper armor, because it comes out super fast. So if you're getting comboed, you can just throw this and then you go into the air, unpunishable moves. And yeah, honestly, S tier. I'm putting it up there with Acid. This one's pretty crazy. I'm honestly gonna move Stark down to A tier, because it takes a little more effort than this one. Like Slash, you can really boss her with it, because it has a lot of ragdolls. Stark, you can as well, but your moves are a little more effort to hit, in my opinion. Alright, Storm. Now Storm is a pretty decent full res, I guess. Your moves are a lot faster, your battery stacks, and then if you hit a bunch of your C moves, they'll stack up, and then you can hit your stock move like 5 times, so it'll like hit them for every single time you have a battery. So yeah, pretty good. Volt's alright, and then this has crazy ragdoll, so you can do pretty much any combo you want after this. Has a pretty big AoE. I think it's a single target, unfortunately, so you only hit 1 person, but still pretty decent, I guess. The G move, big AoE. I think it's also a pretty low CD as well, so you can spam this move out whenever. Rains down damage, so I don't know. Probably gonna put this B tier. It's alright, situational. But really, if you want to go crazy in Clan Wars or Boss Raid, any of the S or A tiers will do perfectly fine. I still think the S tiers are like really a step above than the other ones, because these ones take really almost no skill at all to do the crazy like Boss Raid combos compared to the A ones. But yeah, that's where I'm probably gonna end it. Leave a comment below if you change anything, and yeah, thanks for watching.